Ever wondered why some men stay hard all the time? It sounds like a joke until it's not, because behind that constant arousal lies a story few men are brave enough to talk about. See, we've all heard that phrase, he's always ready. Society turns it into a symbol of masculinity, power, or confidence. But the truth, it's not power, it's pressure, it's confusion, it's imbalance, and sometimes it's pain hidden behind a smirk. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named Adam, 34 years old, fit, healthy, confident on the outside. He joked with friends that he was always ready to go, but in private, it scared him because his body didn't know how to calm down. Even when he wasn't thinking about anything intimate, it was there, persistent, demanding attention. At first, he thought it was just strong libido, but over time, it became exhausting mentally and emotionally. He couldn't focus. He felt anxious at work, distracted during conversations, and when it came to relationships, it wasn't passion anymore, it was pressure. You see, constant arousal, what doctors might call hyperarousal or persistent physiological response, isn't always about desire. Sometimes it's a symptom, a signal that something deeper is off, hormonally, psychologically, or emotionally. For Adam, it started after months of stress. He was grinding through long work hours, surviving on caffeine and barely sleeping. His mind was on overdrive, and the body, it responded like it was stuck in on mode. Adrenaline high, heart racing, testosterone flooding his system. When you're in constant fight or flight, your body confuses stimulation with survival. The same hormones that help you fight danger can also trigger unwanted arousal. It's the body's crossed wires. The mind says, I'm tired, but the body says we're still in danger. Adam didn't understand that at first, so he did what most men do. He laughed it off. But inside it created shame. He started avoiding intimacy altogether, terrified his partner would notice something was wrong. Imagine that paradox. Your body's reacting as if you're always turned on, but emotionally you're completely disconnected. That's not pleasure. That's confusion trapped in the body, and that's where relationships start to break down. His partner, Sarah, felt rejected. She thought he wasn't attracted to her anymore because he pulled away. He couldn't explain it. How could he say, I'm hard all the time, but I don't feel anything? So silence grew between them, and silence in relationships is louder than any argument. What's rarely talked about is how this issue affects emotional intimacy. When a man's body reacts constantly, it's not just about physical tension, it's mental exhaustion. It's the feeling of being trapped inside your own body. It's like driving with the engine revving non-stop, even when you're parked. Some men try to release the tension through habits, endless scrolling, quick fixes, self-escape. But the more they do, the worse it gets, because overstimulation trains the brain to expect constant excitement. And soon, real emotional connection feels that's the hidden cost of being always on. The body's pleasure system starts hijacking your emotional system. You crave more but feel less. Science explains part of it. When dopamine, the brain's pleasure chemical, is overstimulated, it builds tolerance. What once made you excited now feels normal, so you seek more, and the cycle begins again. For Adam, it wasn't about hormones alone, it was about emptiness. He'd lost balance between body and mind, pleasure and peace, desire and discipline. He realized his constant state of arousal wasn't passion, it was the result of stress, lack of control, and emotional disconnection. And this happens to millions of men silently. They don't talk about it because they're told to be proud of it. But deep down, they're exhausted. They crave peace more than pleasure, connection more than climax. What's fascinating is how the brain interprets this state. It's not just physical arousal, it's psychological. It's often tied to anxiety, guilt, or unresolved emotions. When your nervous system is overactive, it doesn't just affect your mood, it affects your body's reactions. That's why some men stay hard all the time, not because they want to, but because their nervous system is stuck in hyperdrive. It's like a car that forgot how to idle, and when that happens, relationships suffer. Partners feel objectified, emotional closure closeness fades. Moments that should be intimate become mechanical. It's not love anymore, it's performance. Now imagine what that does to a man's confidence. He feels powerful physically, but powerless emotionally. He wants to connect, but his body keeps interrupting him. He starts seeing himself as broken. But here's the truth most men never hear. You're not broken. Your body is communicating. It's trying to tell you something is off. Sometimes it's hormones, testosterone, cortisol, adrenaline, dopamine, all fighting for control. Other times it's psychological, stress, trauma, shame, loneliness. And in today's hyper-connected, overexposed world, men's minds are constantly bombarded with stimuli that keep the body on alert. Screens, stress, overthinking. It's not just what we see, it's how we feel after seeing it. We live in a dopamine storm, and that storm can make your body forget how to rest. Adam eventually sought help, not from pills or quick fixes, but by learning how to slow down. He started meditating, working out not for adrenaline but for balance. He talked openly with Sarah, and for the first time he understood that intimacy isn't about being ready, it's about being present. That's when things changed. His body finally began to calm down. He realized that when his heart was peaceful, his body followed. Adam's turning point didn't happen overnight. It wasn't some magical morning where everything clicked back to normal. It began quietly with one deep breath. He sat alone one night, lights dim, mind restless. He realized something powerful. His body wasn't his enemy, it was his messenger. All those unwanted reactions, the constant tension, the confusion, it wasn't weakness. It was his body screaming for balance. And that realization changed everything. He started by letting go of shame. See, shame keeps the cycle alive. When you feel embarrassed about your own body, you suppress emotion. And suppressed emotion doesn't disappear. It hides, waiting to express itself in other ways. For Adam, that expression was constant arousal. He learned to sit with it, to breathe through it, not to fight it, not to judge it, just to understand it. That's where healing really begins. Awareness. Every man watching this, maybe you felt the same. Maybe you've laughed it off with friends pretending it's funny, or maybe you've stayed quiet, wondering what's wrong with you. But there's nothing wrong with you. You're human, living in a body trying to protect you, even when it gets confused about how. Adam learned to slow down his nervous system. He stopped forcing excitement and started finding peace in stillness. He took walks without headphones. He ate slowly, mindfully. He cut down on digital stimulation, the endless images, scrolling, constant dopamine, and that small change, that moment of digital silence, began to rewire his brain. You see, the male brain today is overstimulated. We live in a loop of instant gratification. We train our bodies to expect constant reward, but never allow them to rest. And that's why so many men today feel on all the time, physically aroused, emotionally drained. But when you step back, when you breathe, when you learn to feel again, something incredible happens. Your body recalibrates, the mind and body start talking again. And that's when intimacy returns, real intimacy. Sarah noticed it before Adam did. He was calmer, more present. He looked into her eyes when they talked. Instead of drifting away in thought, it wasn't about performance anymore, it was connection. For the first time in months, she felt seen, not just touched. And for Adam, that changed everything. He realized how backwards the message to men has been. We're told to chase excitement, to prove virility, to never stop. But true strength isn't in being always ready. It's in knowing when to rest, when to listen, and when to truly connect. That's what most men misunderstand about intimacy. It's not about lasting forever. It's about being fully there, heart, mind, and body aligned. When that alignment happens, the body stops fighting itself. The endless tension fades, replaced by something deeper, peace. And peace, for a man who's lived in chaos, feels like freedom. Adam's story is personal, but it's also universal, because every man at some point faces that same internal war between strength and vulnerability, between passion and peace, between what the world tells him to be and what his soul truly needs. When the body stays hard all the time, it's not a symbol of pride. It's a signal of imbalance, of pressure, of something inside that needs attention. And if ignored, it doesn't just hurt the body, it hurts relationships. Let's talk about that. The ripple effect. When a man's body is in constant tension, it changes how he relates to others. He may become impatient, anxious, emotionally distant. His partner senses the tension, even if he hides it. Moments that should be soft turn sharp. Small misunderstandings become heavy. It's not because he doesn't love, it's because he's exhausted from pretending to be fine. This is why communication becomes everything. When Adam finally opened up to Sarah, really opened up, something shifted. He told her, "It's not you, it's my body reacting to things I don't understand yet." That one line broke months of silence. She cried, not from hurt, but from relief. Because finally, it wasn't a mystery, it was truth. And truth heals faster than any medicine. Together they began to rebuild their connection, not through forced passion, but emotional safety. They laughed again, they shared stories, they learned how to slow down. For the first time, intimacy wasn't about performance, it was about presence. That's the secret no one talks about. When men learn to slow their bodies down, they connect deeper with everything. Love, purpose, creativity, and peace. Science backs it up. When the nervous system relaxes, testosterone levels normalize. Blood flow stabilizes. Dopamine sensitivity resets. That means excitement returns naturally, but without chaos. It's not forced, it's balance. Balance is what turns constant tension into controlled energy. And that's what every man deserves. Not endless arousal, but effortless confidence. Over time, Adam learned something profound. You don't need to be ready all the time to be masculine. You need to be emotionally awake, because emotional intelligence, not physical readiness, is what keeps love alive. Think about it. What's more powerful, a body that reacts or a soul that connects? Because when your heart leads, your body follows. When your mind is calm, your energy becomes pure. That's when intimacy feels like art, not performance. Many men today feel stuck in that same pattern. Maybe it's you, maybe it's someone you love. Maybe your body reacts before your heart does. It's not something to hide, it's something to understand. Start small, start with breath. Start by asking your body, what are you trying to tell me? And listen without judgment, because when you listen, you heal, and when you heal, you love better. For men watching this, know that your worth isn't tied to your body's reaction. You are not your impulses, you are your awareness of them. And awareness is where control begins. If you've been living in overdrive, chasing excitement, ignoring peace, maybe it's time to pause. Because peace doesn't make you weaker, it makes you stronger. It makes you present, and presence, that's what your partner really craves. Sarah once told Adam something he'll never forget. She said, "I don't need you to be always ready, I just need you to be here." And that line hit him deeper than anything else, because it reminded him what intimacy really means. It's not about readiness, it's about realness. It's not about reaction, it's about connection. So if you've been struggling with constant arousal, remember this: you're not broken, you're just overstimulated. And overstimulation can be healed through stillness, communication, and emotional honesty. Take time to unplug, take time to breathe, and take time to remember that love doesn't need tension to exist. It needs trust. The strongest men are not the ones who stay on all the time. They're the ones who know how to turn inward, to rest, to feel. Because when you master peace, your passion becomes powerful, not chaotic. So the next time someone says he's always ready, remember this video. Remember Adam's story. Remember that real intimacy isn't about being ready, it's about being present. And maybe, just maybe, that's what modern men have been missing all along. Because true strength isn't how long you last, it's how deeply you connect. If this message spoke to you, if it made you think differently about what it means to be a man, then take a second to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Somebody out there is fighting the same silent battle, and your one share could change their life. This is more than a story, it's a reminder. Real men don't chase constant excitement, they create lasting peace. Thank you for watching. Stay grounded, stay real, and remember, sometimes the bravest thing a man can do is slow down and simply feel.